What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and if you're a book lover, you know what sprayed edges are, and you know that not all books come with sprayed edges, but some. You may think to yourself, I would love to have some sprayed edges on this book because it's like my favorite book. It's so good. It's like my favorite. I love it. Basically, that's what happened with Meekachii. She has been loving this book, and she basically asked me,
Hey, do you think you could spray the edges of this book for me?
she was looking up online to see how to, get the edges painted, and she couldn't really find a tutorial on how to do it. So what I'm gonna attempt to do today is somewhat give you a not so comprehensive instructional tutorial video on how to do that. The good news is that I have already done it. This is actually Meekachii's copy of the book. This was the first attempt at doing this. Came out pretty good. The purple looks pretty good. I tried to match it as best to the purple. This good thing about this purple is that it's just like a generic, it's pretty just it's purpley. It's as purple as purple gets. I put a little bit of some silver in there to make it a little bit, give it a little pizzazz. You may not be able to see it in the video. It may look a little bit more blue, but it's nice and purple, and it looks really good. Meekachii posted a few pictures of this on Instagram, and the author, Elliot Brooks, liked it. So we asked her if she wanted us to make her one, and that's what this is. And no pressure on me, but I really hope I don't mess this one up. So hopefully I am able to, do it again. If you guys are going to try to do this and you ruin your book, please don't blame me. You do this at your own risk. It's very easy to ruin the books. So let's go over what we are going to need for this project. I'm going to be using an airbrush for this just because it gives you a little bit more control. You can theoretically use a spray can. I haven't done it with a spray can, but everything should be the same. The only difference is that the spray can is going to have a lot more fumes. You're going to have to do it outside. With an airbrush, as long as you're using acrylics, you're going to be safer to breathe it in. It's still not good to breathe in, but it's not going to stink up your whole house. Obviously, the first thing you're going to want to do is choose the book that you want to get and kind of look at the cover and decide what color would go best with it. This book is mostly white and it has the purple accent. We could have gone with blue as well because the gem right there is blue. What we decided with was the purple because one, Meekachii and I's, one of our favorite colors is purple. Like, we both really like purple, so we're like, let's go with purple, right? That'll look good. So what we're doing for paints is we have this Createx paints. So we got, this is the wrong color. This is black. We have red, silver, and blue, obviously. So we got these three colors. If I remember, I'll put a link down below to all the stuff that I got. Amazon affiliate link. So if you guys do end up picking anything, it helps the channel out. So feel free. We are also gonna need some low tack masking tape. So this is the frog tape, I believe, and yeah, it is frog tape, and this is the yellow one. So the yellow is the lowest tack, I believe, that they have. So for the most part, it usually won't tear up the pages. You just have to test it. I would put a little piece on, if you're gonna tape up any of the pages, I would put a little piece on there first just to see, to test out and see if it's gonna tear it when you peel it off. Because even if you do a great job, you go to peel it off and it rips your pages, nobody would love that. That would be terrible. Nobody would like that. So check that first. Besides the tape, we're gonna also need some, just some thicker paper because we don't want to use tape on everything. So we'll put the paper down, tape around it to mask some of the stuff. We're also going to need some sort of clamping something. These are just some wood clamps that I've had laying around for a while. So anything that can kind of clamp it, or you could just really hold it really tight, because what we're going to want to do is make sure that the pages are nice and shut so that we can actually, we don't get any air that goes in between and does any damage inside. So we kind of want to put a decent amount of pressure on it, squeezing it. Along with the clamps, we're going to be using 2 pieces of wood This is optional. The clamps are also optional, but you'll get a better result if you can evenly distribute the clamping force on the book itself. And then obviously we'll need an airbrush and a little airbrush compressor. You can get a set of compressor and airbrush pretty cheap on Amazon, $40-$50. They're not the best airbrushes. They're not going to last for a while. You can go with something a little bit higher quality like this. This is an Iwata HPCS, or you can go with something like one of the master ones. I actually have one of those. That's what I did this one with. So that was a cheap little $20 airbrush that I did for this. But a nice little, a better quality one will do better, but I would only really recommend something like this if you plan on doing more airbrushing. Otherwise, a cheapo one will work fine. You can even go to somewhere like Harbor Freight or something if you're in the US. They have some cheap stuff on there, but Amazon is pretty cheap and you can usually get a bundle with a compressor. There'll be two different styles of compressors, one that's just the motor and one that is a motor and an air tank. Obviously the air tank one is better, but you don't have to do that. You can go with just the tankless one. I'll put a link down below to both. So once you have your paint mixed up, basically what we have here is, I would say one part blue, one part red, and 2 parts, what color is this? Pearl silver. That's how we got to this color here, which is, kind of looks blue a little bit, but it is nice and purple, at least in real life. All right, so step number 1 is going to be, obviously, strip the book down, make it naked, whatever you want to call it. I call this a naked book, okay? Nice gray cover, title on the side. Okay, so what we're gonna want to do right now is we're gonna want to protect everything we can, basically. It does have a few little imperfections here and there because when things get shipped out, they usually, they'll put them in a big old box and it gets rattled around and everything. So most of the books that we get in the mail are never in perfect condition. So I'm going to try to make the best of this and hope that, you can't see the little bent pages a little bit. I tried to unbend them. They look a little bit better, but still not perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our masking material and we're going to protect basically the inside, the outside, anything that we don't want to be painted. I don't know why I said it like that. We're going to protect anything that we don't want painted. So what's nice here is that the fact that this book is roughly the same size as the paper here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape this up here just to protect the outside of the book. I would definitely say that this part is by far the hardest part and the thing that you're going to want to take care of to do a good job on, because this is all going to matter at the end. So the way that I am going to do this is I'm going to start by wrapping the cover with mostly the paper, and obviously the tape is what's going to hold it down. We're going to start right here at the top. Fold that in. This guy we can't fold because there isn't enough there. And then we're just gonna throw a little, or I guess a big piece of tape on the back here to just hold that down. And then we're gonna take another piece of paper and come in from the other side just to fasten that down well, make sure that this is lined up. Now that we have that taped up, we actually have to tape up a little bit of the corners here, because when we shut it, we don't want any chance that any of this is going to get purpled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the edge here, all the way on the inside, and then you know what, we'll just tear that off right there, and we're gonna fold it over. But first, let's close this so that we can have the book shut, because we're gonna spray it in the shut shape, shut form. Yeah, we're gonna spray it like this. So we need to make sure that we are sealed right there. Now just do that for all the sides. So now that we have all of the front and the back taped up, and obviously the inside is taped up as well, what we're gonna have to do is figure out a solution for this. We don't want any of the purple getting over here into the gray cover. So what I'm gonna do, or at least this is what I did last time, was I opened this up a little bit just to peel it up, and I put some tape in there.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town.
Haha. Okay, so I ended up having to use a little screwdriver just to try to put. Oh man, this little guy is gonna be tough. Just to try to get the tape to bend around everything. The fact that this tape is low tack is nice because it doesn't rip anything when you take it off. It doesn't peel off any paint. None of that. But the downside is that it's low tack, so it doesn't want to stick as well as something like duct tape. But you know, positives and negatives. You gotta kind of pick your battles. I'm gonna make sure we get that stuck on there. All right, so now that we have it for the most part taped up, what we're gonna want to do is take our two pieces of wood, sandwich it, and then put the clamps on it. So one thing you don't want is when you release the page or the clamps, you definitely don't want it to be over clamped for it to still have white marks in there. So the main thing right now is basically just to get the edges painted without getting very much overspray in there or in there. That's the main goal right now. So again, this is only the third time that I've done this. So let's cross our fingers. Quick little aside. I'm in the middle of putting away my airbrush, and I realized in this video I don't really teach you guys how to set up an airbrush or do any of that. I may do a video about that in the future if you guys want me to specifically. But for now, this is mostly just showing you what you can do with an airbrush if you're trying to you know, airbrush some edges. I do want to do a video on how to set up the airbrush and everything like that, but let me know down below if you guys want to see that. And now I'll let you guys watch the rest of the video. Sorry for the interruption.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be
All right, so this is one of my favorite things. Ready? So when you go to open it for the first time after you painted it, listen. It's basically like opening up a brand new book. Here you have it. Let me make sure that my fingers aren't all dirty before I take this guy apart. So like I was showing you guys before, one of the coolest things is when you first stretch out the pages. You get like this nice crispy page effect, and that'll kind of take away some of the gaps that you had from before. Like I said, there are some damaged parts to this book, so that's kind of why you'll have some little spots, like that little white piece right there was the bend that it had before, and really nothing I could do about it because I can't, you know, magically unbend the book. So we're gonna have to live with it. Hopefully Elliot likes the final product, and hopefully when I take off all this tape it looks good. You guys will see it in a sec. Thanks for writing an awesome book. I haven't read it yet, but Meekachii is absolutely loving it. If you guys want to go check out Peace and Turmoil, I will put a link down below to it, and also I'll put a link to Elliot's page. She's one of Meekachii's favorite YouTubers, so if you guys are here for the book stuff, you'll probably like her channel too, because she does just book stuff. We do some other things as well. I hope that you cherish this beautiful book. Actually, let me take off the tape, right? So guys, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and make sure to go check this book out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Go check out some of the other stuff that we do on the channel. We do a book club, we do TBRs, we do all the traditional book stuff. We'll see you guys soon in a future video or something, or maybe a past video. Go check some of those out. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye bye.